line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up.
Well, for the heads up here, folks, I do apologize in advance for the weather right now. Currently, the fog making it a little bit hard to see our drivers, let alone the actual track. But if you guess where we're at today, yes, we are in the famed Auto Club Speedway here today, ladies and gentlemen, here at Fontana, California. We'll host the Pit Stop Racing Series in the Truck Series Division live here on Beats Race TV. Hi, everyone. I am the Crusader Christian Drive, joining you guys here today. We're getting ready to do the action, get the call underway. Hey, who's who? The drivers right now getting loaded up and ready to race it out on the track here. And as always, we'll start with some of the drivers you may have known 12 year before here. On top of the seat here so far is this man, the 83 of Brandon Medford here, as he brings always place machine back to the track here. Brandon, good to hear from you again, sir. And obviously a lot of speed and endurance here to have to work around without a close speedway with that fog still kind of blocking off a little. I mean, what's kind of going through your guys' minds? You ready to racing out with these guys?
I've not been out here for a little bit with these guys, and you know, due to some life issues, but excited to get out here. I think I got lucky there and turned a good lap, so I don't expect anything just particular out of the tonight except for to stay clean and have a chance there at the end.
For sure there. Now, you know, he's trying to stay out there and stay clean to the end. Obviously, they got no repairs allowed on this one here. I mean, does that kind of, in your mind, think the driver's going to kind of calm down a bit, or you think they may still just get as aggressive as they have been previous weeks?
Yeah, this track gives you the opportunity to race in 3 and 4 grooves, so I think everybody's going to be able to, you know, find a groove that they like, and you know that does get guys going across each other's noses coming off the exit if you're not careful. But this place usually has some clean racing, so I think that's what these guys are going to do tonight, and it's going to be a great show.
We'll certainly have to see. Brandon, thank you so much for your time down there.
Yeah, no problem, bud.
Brandon Mepper, ladies and gentlemen, on the line there. Take a listen to Gordon Larson Jr. right now as he brings up the double O machine today here. And Gordon, a long run speedster here. Obviously, a plate track more set for your motion here, but this track, obviously, a bigger, wider open track here. I mean, I gotta ask you, does this track kind of suit how you want to try to drive, or is this more like this kind of place that's going to kind of be a little more challenging for you?
Well, if you can run up high and keep momentum, but you'll wear the tires out quicker. Running the bottom, you lose a little bit of speed, but you can save tire, and it is a tire management race. I can kind of run it both top or bottom, feel comfortable in the truck. Feel pretty good tonight, actually.
I feel pretty good about that indeed. Now, I know there's a lot of eyes kind of pinpointed on trying to find that run, trying to find that groove. With the way this track kind of plays out today, though, do you think the drivers can kind of learn from what they did back in Michigan?
Yeah, similar. I would agree with that.
All right, well, nevertheless, Gordon, we do appreciate your time down there on the track. Good luck as you're ready to roll them out with these drivers today.
Yeah, I appreciate it up there. Y'all have a good time up there in the booth.
Thank you, sir. Gordon Larson Jr. there on the line. Kind of listen to Brandon Meyer right now as he brings us an air on the track side here. Brandon, another long road here for you and the team here at the 33 camp, though. Probably a little bit of a new look on that number one machine. What's kind of going on with this design, and what we got going on with the truck today?
I'll do that. I'll change up my paint schemes every couple weeks. I got like 10 paint schemes, so I had this in another league this year, and a lot of people like the truck, so I'm gonna run it tonight, see how it feels.
Yeah, it feels indeed. Now, I gotta ask you too. I mean, you got a lot of drivers kind of itching and scratching, trying to get a race win today. Obviously, I got a couple of them trying to go back triplicates here, but for you, I mean, really, where is your mindset lie? Where does the position kind of stand for what you're going for today?
Gotta maintain tires tonight, I believe. I want to have another solid finish. I've done very good the last few weeks. I've actually surprised myself a few of these races. Got very lucky last week with I got a penalty on the pit stop. I guess I hit the cone coming out. So me and Gordon actually did the same thing. So we got shuffled to the back last week, and we got lucky with that yellow flag towards the end, and I managed to bring it home 4th or 5th. So I'm really looking to duplicate that tonight, or get a few spots higher up and maybe shock some people tonight. So we'll see how the truck runs. Feels very good. Yeah, I'm 10th on the speed charts right now, but that does not mean anything. That's how I've done all season. So I'm looking forward to tonight and bring it home in one piece.
All right. Thank you, Brandon, for your time down there, bud. Good luck as you're ready to roll some out today.
All right. Thank you.
Brandon Meyer, ladies and gentlemen, on the line there. Now listen to Eric Blunt real quick here as the number 6 machine comes to us here on the circuit. And yet again, Eric, another little trivial race here for you and the guys. Obviously, I know so a few new things that kind of changed up here, obviously, with the no instant repairs and none of that stuff. Really, for you and this team, I mean, do you really kind of got kind of an idea on like where to really race this one out at and try to push the limits onto?
Biggest thing's gonna be, like I said, take care of the right front. It's gonna be like that kind of race. You're gonna really have to baby the car. You can't rough the wall, can't get into it. That's gonna take extra time on pit road. So you really gotta take care of the car.
Taking it apart, taking it to the run here. I think really one thing too, I kind of curious too, is with the way the fog is kind of rolled in, does that kind of hurt the viewing or the vision for you drivers out there in this case?
Yeah, off in the distance. A lot of drivers like to look far ahead. Try to see what's going on ahead of them. So it hurts that the visibility because you really can't see that far out front. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's just a big surprise. Who would expect that? So.
Sure there. All right, well, Eric, I do appreciate your time down there. Good luck as you get ready to face them out today.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Eric Blount, ladies and gentlemen, on the line there. Well, I'll take a quick listen into the professor himself, Tim Lee, as now he joins us back here on the show here. Tim, I know it was about a couple weeks ago we had you on the show here, but yet again trying to beat the professor of the track and professor of the drivers. I know obviously track is kind of worn and tore out a little bit. Does that surface kind of make it a little harder for these trucks to kind of hang on the early goes in your mind?
Yeah, big track, you would figure that it'd be super grippy with lots of lanes, and it does have a lot of lanes, but it is bumpy as all can be, and it's real gritty, and the right front will go pretty quick if you don't take care of it.
So with that being said, too, you think there's going to be more of a kind of a tire saving, fuel management kind of race for a lot of these drivers, in your opinion?
No, there has to be. There absolutely has to be tonight. It is all strategy.
All right, well, you are the professor for a reason. We'll see if you can formulate the plot to win this one out. Tim, thanks so much for your time down there.
Thanks, buddy.
Tim Lee, ladies and gentlemen, on the line. Well, I'll take a quick listen to Michael Pryor here, the number 3 machine here. And Michael, we know you've talked a lot here, obviously, about the races and runs you've had as of late, and obviously now second fastest overall in terms of the power and speed and practice. I know you're trying to get yourself back into the top of the mountain here, but what will it take in your mind to kind of get there?
No mistakes. Have a clean race, no mistakes, and hope that you have some people on the track that will work with you a little bit, but that's pretty much it.
And you say try to work with you a little bit, and you may want to explain to the viewers at home why you want to have them work with you a little bit on this track in particular.
Well, it's all about the runs. If people want to block you, they can stop a run that you got. You'll never make it anywhere. And if they work with it, you can get past, or you can work together and draft and make it up to somebody else that's in front of you guys. But you have to work together to do it. So it just depends on circumstances. And there's a lot of people, friends out here, and I don't know. I don't know the correct answer for all this.
Well, I mean, certainly is time to figure it out as you get along in the race here, Michael. So best of luck to you, and we'll see how it goes today. Michael Pratt, ladies and gentlemen, on the line there. We'll take a quick listen here to Tim Williams here now. As Tim, once more, sir, another race, another showcase for you in this 45 team. Really, did you try to do anything differently here compared to Michigan when you got over to Auto Club to prepare for this one?
Yeah, I did a couple of little adjustments here and there, and hopefully it's going to make it a little bit better.
Any particular adjustments or anything like that?
Well, I did a couple on the steering wheel and made a few little tweaks on that, a little bit on the throttle pedal.
All right, well, we'll have to see if that's going to be the winning formula for you and your team here today. Tim, thank you so much for your time down there. Best of luck on the track.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good evening.
You too, buddy. Tim Williams, ladies and gentlemen, on the line as the drivers now prepare themselves up for what is to be extremely durable qualifying run here. 2 miles of length, oval shape and configuration. This track is a worn, tore out little surface end to beat up little track here. First of the drivers to come out on the track to face up, Craig Lerman, going to be the first one up to the challenge. He knows he's going to have his work cut out for him and a lot of power and speed to endurify with. But notice too, they no longer have a 10-minute qualifying run. They only have a 5-minute qualifying session. And I'm just going to I'm not going to beat around the bush as well, guys. I do really apologize for the horrible fog and glare that is going to be plaguing this broadcast the entire day. I'm hoping when we get out of qualifying it goes away or it clears out, but honestly it may not. And I have my settings up as high as I can get them. As you can see right here, it looks fine right in front of you. Looks fine in the front of the screen here. It's just when they get further out and that fog rolls in, that's when everything just kind of hurts. So there you see right there. So again, I apologize deep in advance. That's nothing I can control. That was set up strictly from the admins and iRacing side. Chris Usler's first run out on the track here is at the 41.55. That's fast enough to take down Mike Rideout, Tim Lee as well, both injuring to a 41.63. I don't know if it's going to be enough to take down Todd Boson, though, nor Chris Moreland, as Moreland just jumped into the top spot, 41.21. Todd Boson's time, 41.32. So, yeah, we'll move him into the second spot, bumping Schuster down a position. Like Trewick, 41.67 for his first lap, although honestly I think we could probably guess what he's up to here. Run the extreme outside and corner it down to the inside, move it from there. And he's looking to try to book it as fast and as hard as he can right now. Full speed ahead and full steam to the finish, trying to get it close to the edge here. Drops it to the high side just a little bit to drop it quickly down low. And the time for Trewick, you're going to guess it otherwise, 40.78, fastest time of the day. Brandon Medford and Tim Williams, as well as now Mike Taylor, able to break the 40 barrier. So all those drivers here right now currently trying to, above all else, kind of push their luck and push themselves to the absolute limit, as John Garrett will not have that lap count. His 41.31 will be the only time he gets to count here. Overdrove it off turn number 4 in the Athens screen printing 66 is going to start well back into the pack. Steve Rada, Chris Medford right now currently laying their laps down here as Craig Lerman tries to finish his up. Medford's going to try to build up as much RPMs and horsepower as he can there. You can see him running the extreme outside lane, then just shipping it straight down the bottom. He does this to help garner more speed and more ground, and that's what's going to help him get the coverage he needs to try to make this run work right here. Tightening the track up, trying to tighten up the speeds to increase the endurance and the durability. Fired back off from turn number 4 down to the line here, and Medford's final time. It's going to be a 40.82. Not enough to get ahead there of Paulson, Trewick, Morosco, or Medford. His other family member, Brandon, DM Medford's in the top 5 for qualifying seed, at least for now. Steve Rada trying to lay down his final lap here in the 8 machine. Little late crossing down the bottom lane there. See if that cost him there as they finish it out. It is going to cost him at 41.89 will be his final time, so that will put him somewhere well beyond where he was expecting. All right, race fans, time to hit the intros and get it down for 8 laps at pit stall. Time for the Pit Stall Racing Series. So here we go, race fans. This is your starting lineup for today's action here. Starting on the pole in the 83 is Brandon Medford for the outside. The number 1 is Ty Morosco. Row number 2 and the number 56, that'll be Blake Trey with the outside. The 17, it is Derek Paulson. Row number 3 in the 46 is Chris Medford for the outside. That 45, it is Tim Williams. Row number 4 in the 98 is Mike Taylor, the outside, and that 24, that will be Tim Lee. Row 5 in the number 6 is Eric Blount, the outside, and the 00, it is Gordon Larson Jr. Row 6 in the number 12, it's Chris Moreland, the outside, and the 23, that's John Poole III. Following us up into row number 7, that will be piloted by the number 31, Todd Post, the outside, and the 5, that's the throttle, Chantel Bottle. Row 8 in the 61 is Chris Schuster, the outside. In the 66, John T. Garrett. Row 9 in the number 76 is Mike Rideout, the outside. And the 8 is Steve Rada. Row 10, the 118 is Robert Smith, the outside, the 33, Brandon Meyer. Row number 11, in the 3, Michael Pratt, the outside, piloted by the 6th. It is Brian Rainville. Our final seeds today. In the 84 is Len McNeese, the 43 will be Craig Lerman. Night skies fall down here in Auto Club, and finally, and I do mean finally, that fog went away. Now we can actually see the cars, and now we can actually see the track and the drivers ahead. Still not completely sure why they really raced it out in the practice and qualifying under the fog, but then again, I really don't know what kind of settings they were wanting to do there. At least they cleared the gap out with the night skies here. Lead them down your way, race fans, from turn number 4 down to the stretch. Brandon Medford, Ty Morosco, and all of them ready to look back and set the tone for this go. Here we go to the line, to the forward screen printing starting zone. 80 laps to the distance in Auto Club. So Brandon Medford taking the early lead here as Morosco trying to go triples for this race season. Looking for 3 wins in a row and trying to do them out here. A lot of the drivers knew going into this one they had to kind of plan things out, go on the attack and on the offensive and try to hope for their breaks and hope for the best. Derek Paulson, the 17 machine, former champion of this series here, trying to hang tight there quickly as he sees Chris Medford Ryan right ahead. He had a huge run off there on that backside there and then made his move on to number 45, Tim Williams, and Tim 6, Blake Traywick. And now Tim Williams starting to close up on Paulson as Tim Lee just kind of lingers right behind the professor. Not wanting to get himself in any messes just yet. He wants to be very patient here. The longer this run goes too, and again, we're going to talk a lot about this today, but that tire run, the fuel run is going to really be exemplified with pit strategies especially as well. Making it just that more interesting and a little bit more difficult to kind of have no one on the crap to kind of hang on to the spots here. One thing I'm very curious though about is the fact that they are going, well, they're going 3 wide split there in between Steve Rada and Chantel Bottle and Aaron Blount. Going down on the roads there, Bottle on the outside trying to stay away there from Rada as the 6 of Blount kind of closing the gap off, trying to nail his run in between. Well, I was going to say though, this is the first race these drivers have ever had to do with a no instant repair. We've seen before what happens when you have all repairs up and running to then only 2 or 1 repairs, but now this is the first time we've seen no repairs. Personally speaking, I like the 1 instant repair because at least it gives you a backup car just in case somebody messed up your race or somebody intentionally got you. Or unintentionally as well. As we see a battle of the Medfords, the MFers themselves, Brandon and Chris, going head to head there, coming off turn 2. The downside, though, with that no in-stirrup air is that it could lead to some drivers in a bad spot or in a plate track situation. They'll formatically get into that mess or get in that position, and then there's nothing they can do about it. They're basically have already been wrecked out. Their car or truck is done for the day. A race like this, you've really got to know where that brake is, and you got to know where that accelerator is and when to use it, while at the same time holding every bit of that steering wheel to good use. Chris leading now. Number 46 is your new leader here. As Chris Medford now trying to keep up with the pace and trying to keep up with the drive here. Corey Larson in the double low machine right now, currently working kick there to 33 of Brandon Meyer. As Meyer earlier on said he was going to switch the schemes out a little and just have a little fun with it. Had something new to try. Derek Paulson falling back quickly as he went 3 wide, splitting there with Tim Lee as well as Blake Treywick. And now the number 98 of Mike Taylor having a little bit of a fun go with it. I do like the fact so far it's been clean and it's been pretty green, but I will say we are only just a matter of laps into this one, and again, that ice track is honestly more on pace because of the drafting as well as also because of their control. They're going to have to know, though, they can't just draft it the whole time here, as Brian Rainville says, evening in the chat. Brian, thanks so much for tuning in here. They're going to have to eventually at some point kind of figure out when is the right time to go into pit road, when would be the right time to stay away from trouble. Now stacking up quickly here. The 83 of Brandon Meffert trying to get back ahead of his family member Chris there. The Mefferts definitely know what they need to do. Try to win a race out. But a guy like Ty Marasco and Tim Williams out here, man, they will not let up on anything. And slammed up in the wall. And this is what we were a little worried about earlier, is when you start to burn the tire up, starts to get a little bit more tricky. And you see them rolling off and now collapsing a little bit of that right front, the right side of the car, to the truck. Bad spot to be in there right there, guys. I mean, a very, very tough spot to really work around. A little bit of a move off there as John Garrett finally find himself a little bit more grip and a little bit more roundabout. Could be starting to stir the pot a little bit, starting to kind of see the openings he can get with this kind of run. He's trying to build up pace and trying to stick with it here as he is now 3 widening off there with Todd Boson and Brandon Meyer. Outside line, high risk, high reward. Bottom lane, lower risk, but certainly a lot tougher on the equipment. That is, if you don't know how to drive it properly there. Uh-oh, little clap in the back there, and Tim Williams clipping Brandon Medford just a little bit there, and that sends him a little bit sideways, managing to save it. Still green on the track here, but I guarantee you Brandon Medford not too happy there with him. Gordon Larson Jr. now, heard him say earlier on, he got kind of playing his moves out here, kind of nail down the corners. You can just see Tim Williams he's losing a lot of ground there, kind of slipped up there off turn number 4. Every corner these drivers get into, they're going to be completely at the mercy of how tough and broken down that track is, while at the same time having to try to nail off the corners and try to run off of the distance here. Ty Morosco now taking the race lead away as Chris Medford had to go into pit road. Gordon Larson Jr., Brendan Medford, and all of them going in as well. This is what you're going to see a lot of now, is now the track starting to slow up in terms of the pace and slow up in terms of where these drivers can go to, where they can run from. Roscoe and all them, Paulson, Pottle, Blount, McNeese, and Moreland into pit road. Tim Lee first out of the bunch there on the other side there with Chris Medford and Brandon Medford. Tim Lee back in the pit road. Looks like he may have overdone himself a little bit. So far, so though, good with the green flag still waving around. We still have not had one caution yet. Ty Morosco now battling quick there, Chris Medford, as those two go head to head. Treywick not too far behind either. As a little crossover there, as you see Medford just on the barely the side of the screen there. Trying to get the camera roll back around. They finally got it there, but you can just see just how much speed Medford had to run off to try to pull a slide job there on the number 1. And Morosco not gonna let him dump that easily. And it's gonna be a very tough decision here. And these drivers know they cannot go too crazy, too hard out of the gate. But at the same time, if they don't, they lose out on so much pace, so much speed. Venom Energy's number 98 machine here, Mike Taylor. I don't know how long it's been since we've heard of Venom on this show, but you know, that used to be an actual league we broadcast before called the Venom Truck Series. This is just Venom Energy, the actual, like, kind of the other competitor to Rockstar Monster. So 1/4 of the way there so far. And really at this point, honestly, I'm kind of looking more towards like where each driver kind of lays at in terms of the field, where they're kind of going to get more into the track. How much damage has one suffered earlier there, like what we saw earlier with Mefford. Chris Mefford that was. Going too hard off turn number 4, clapped the wall a little bit. Damage doesn't seem to really be all that much, if any. But that's just kind of where this field kind of feels at. Timing and execution when they need to, and then run the gauntlet when they have to. And then other guys like Tim Williams, them kind of falling back way in the field due to some other unforeseen circumstances. Kind of something I do want to say though, at least before we continue on today, we do want to send our well wishes to the Squire family there, as we unfortunately in the racing world have lost a probably a man, honestly, that I found out later that really kind of helped, you know, me as a broadcaster in many other ways, and really kind of learned to teach from. So Ken Squire has unfortunately passed away today. So from all of us here at Beats Race TV, and myself included as a broadcaster, I cannot help but thank him for all that he's done for the racing community as well as for the broadcast community. And truly, the stories he's told just by simply from him talking out on the track and creating this beautiful sequence that NASCAR has become and motorsports has become thanks to him. So thank you so much, Ken Squire, for everything. Rest in peace, good sir. Let us know in the comment section down below, do you have a famous quote or a call that he's made? We'd like to hear it down in the comment section below here on our YouTube and our Facebook, because of course you'll see this on Facebook later on. Extremely excited to get a little bit more out of this one right now. Currently, as Medford gets a little tag out Blake Traywick. They're coming off 4. These guys right now have turned 4. That seems to be the spot that's biting a lot of these drivers, man. I know they're going from a cornered end to a bit of a progressive end corner as well versus the flat end when you're coming off from turn number 2. But man, it seems like they're kind of rolling them really hard off that edge and off that bridge, and it seems to kind of catch them completely for a rut. Nothing they can do about it. They know they got to kind of be very focused and more careful about how they handle the corners and how they handle the turns. And Medford yet again trying to cross over on the 56 of Traywick. Just does not seem to want to slow down and try to pull off. Wants to just completely take full control when they can. Brandon Medford, Chris Medford now trying to catch up there with Blake Traywick here. Brandon Meyer, your race leader here. And I'm kind of surprised by Brandon Meyer, honestly, taking the race lead so quickly here on Ty Morosco. Morosco probably wasn't expecting this either here, but Brandon Meyer, give him credit where credit's due. The 33, he's playing to these drivers a little bit. Maybe he's trying to kind of find something here and trying to move them up a little bit in the chains. So pit stop now ensuing there as Brandon Meyer, Chris Medford, and Craig Lerman go in there. Derek Paulson right now trying to close the gap and the bridge off here from Brandon Medford, Blake Trawick, and Ty Morosco. Everyone started to... Ow! Sorry about that, folks. Thought we had enough time to mute the mic there, so I apologize for that sneeze. Anyway, I was going to say, currently, right now anyway, Trawick, Medford, and Paulson kind of closed off a bit there. Paulson was falling back way behind earlier than that race run, and now it seems like he's starting to kind of get a better idea of where he was at and what he's trying to do. Brandon Meyer there, his pit stop definitely cost him a lot of position, a lot of ground to cover, so he's going to need some help here. The 60th Brian Rainville right now currently trying to close up some bridges and some gaps too. Aaron Bedford into pit road. Todd Poston staying out. John Poole, Gordon Larson Jr. going to pits. Side, John Garrett, Tim Williams as well there. Mike right out going in there, looks like, with that group. Aaron Flower going to move in with them as well here. So about 50 laps left to go here at Auto Club. Been a smooth ride. It's been a smooth transition, but again, there's a lot of guys right now currently just trying to overall find the fuel and find the pit stop set there. Well, the top five, almost all of them are going into pit road. Wow. Well, now it is top five. I was going to wonder who was going in next. Looks like Pavel Nice will join them as Chris Medford tries to camera down quickly before Trawick gets out on that track again, and so does Morosco. Big pit stop here. Tires up, tires on. Looks like all four sets going in there. Morosco going a little bit on the later side here, and that was not what he wanted to do. Paulson and Trawick right now going to have to keep it close here as Chris and Brandon Medford run their way around now as well. So it looks like they've got about a 15-lap window on the fuel and the tires here. Todd Poston almost kind of burrowed his way out there from pit road as Blake Trawick and him just kind of pushing their lanes off the lanes. You know, I don't think they wanted to wait very long there. I think that was kind of the biggest part you could say there. It looked like they were just ready to hammer down and go straight for the run. Yeah, one thing or two I'm kind of expecting here is now, obviously we heard some of the drivers talk about it earlier, but teamwork really now could be difference maker could be what really sets the tone here. A lot of drivers are going to be looking at each driver working together with one another, like Roscoe and Garrett right now, with what Meffords are doing, Brandon and Chris, Brian Rain, Blake Schrewick, Derek Paulson are doing. They're going to be very, very close in terms of where they need to be, in terms of where they need to go. But they're also going to be trying to jump around the track as much as possible here. Which that could be the difference maker here. Again, one driver versus two. Always we'll see two usually winning it out unless one is trying to get the best of the other. Halfway done with this race now, ladies and gentlemen. Here currently, Blake Trawick picking the race lead away there from Chris Mefford, as well as Brian Rainville going into pit road there. Brandon Mefford currently trying to get back into the field, trying to get back into the stack here with the rest of the guys as he goes into pit road himself now. Derek Paulson going to be closing in quickly there with Trawick here as we take a look at our lap timing sheets here. And again, you can just see closely how much power and speed each driver is having to face up and trying to kick up as much as they can here. Tough little deal though. It's a tough little position to be kind of put into because again, you have to nail every run and you have to kind of hit yourself so hard on that throttle and hope that it will work out into the run there and it will work out in your favor. Now the gap again is just starting to decrease more and more here. Paulson just right on the tail end of the cusp into Trawick there. So obviously there's some kind of pit strategy and a fuel strategy run that these guys are currently trying to work around and work against to. But it seems as though it may end up being a little bit tougher there for some of the other drivers to kind of work around because again, there's a whole host of drivers that are currently doing completely different strategies, different kind of time lengths and spots, but at the same time they're trying to match the speed once they're coming through and the power they have to run too as well. It's not an easy balance, but you can figure out how to kind of nail it down a little bit. It certainly helps out a bit. I haven't been as talkative, but I usually am as well today. Just keep in mind, guys, I have a little bit of a sore throat still. Been fighting. Haven't been the best as of late here, and unfortunately, it's still been kind of hitting me up a little bit. I promise you though, I'm still doing okay. Everything's all right on my end here. Just currently just trying to get one step ahead of whatever the heck flies around anymore here in my little state here as now goes down the pit road here in Auto Club in Fontana. Trawick and Paulson both the pit road here. That will give us a little bit of an idea now where their strategy will lay in effect and where they'll kind of play out from there. Brandon Mefford going right up quickly. Chris Mefford tries to hurry back there to his family member. He's going to have a little bit of work to do, though, as currently Tim Williams, Ty Morosco, Gordon Larson Jr. are way ahead of that stance here and really pushing their power to the limit. So coming out from pit road right now, Craig Trawick, Derek Paulson still leading the gap up there, bridged up between WC and Steve Rada, currently working around on that 46 there. Chris Mefford Rada earlier on was on that lead lap and was really looking like maybe he could have been a contender. But again, the longer the Auto Club runs, the harder it becomes to kind of nail down and kind of fight through. We've seen this run too before it has some extremely exciting finishes and striking spots here. But in terms of the pit roads and the pit stops here, really it's all kind of hindering down to just two drivers, which is basically Trewick and Paulson at the moment. Not saying though that can't change pretty quickly, or that can change in general. What I am saying though is that it's going to be a very tough road to get to, and it's going to be a very tough road to kind of back from, considering they have to kind of nail down their runs and have to kind of find out what kind of what kind of track is going to tear up on the tires end here. If they have to drive a little harder, have to drive a little bit faster, just to get one step ahead of the other, or to try to get a little bit more pacing around. Also currently just laying low there from Trewick here at the moment. Currently now has Len McNeese now working right behind him here. Pumping about 30 laps left to go here, folks. And this is where I'm really starting to kind of feel and see just how hard tire wear and the pressure is put on these trucks and put on these chassis and the equipment. It's really from there, like, what else can they really do? What else can they really kind of pull around on? I think if anything, it probably is becoming a lot more difficult, a lot more frustrating to kind of have to try to nail down and kind of control off of the lanes here. So Brandon Meth right now currently leading the field down. Looks like he kind of took a little bit of a shot in the dark there, took some travel around to catch up ahead, and now just like that all of a sudden took the race lead away. And again, Brandon was pretty far back there too. Kind of surprised he had so much speed kind of lingering around back there, but at the same time, I guess, you know, that's what I get for not paying attention. I think Treywick was paying a little bit of attention to him, but didn't mind any of his run until now. Brandon Medford into pit road here. Very tough little pit stop here for him, but he has to get in there to get that fuel run. I think this one might be his second or final one, if not close to it. I think he's got one more he's going to have to do, though. If I'm going off the lap counter, I'm going off the lap spins here. Treywick and Paulson now close to the gap zone, close on the spot. 25 laps left to go here in Auto Pub. Treywick and Paulson right now closing this quickly here, looking like maybe either one of them could make a run for it here and try to control this one. Brandon Medford going back on the pit road right now, trying to get his lap back immediately. Does not want to lose that one out. Ty Morosco as well, kind of in the doghouse here in terms of trying to get his lap back here. As he's going to try to make it faster on Medford, who's successful there, going through 3. Paulson and Treywick know they can't get into any messes here, any kerfuffles or scruffles here. They got to kind of stay focused on that lane, on that shot they're taking control of here. Three laps left to go right now. Currently, it is pretty much game on. Each driver right now just trying to find a lane, trying to find a run, trying to move up anything they can here, just trying to do what they can get to the runs. Chris Medford now joining right up there on the top side of Chantel Powell. Currently has to deal with him up there. Powell's not exactly going to let up that easily either on that 46, so he knows going to be giving everything she's got. The lone lady in the field. Kind of ironic too, because it sounded like she wasn't going to have any. She was going to have a lot of issues trying to get into the race today. She told me that there were some problems in the electrical system that was not allowing her to fire the truck up. Managed to get it fixed up though, and managed to get it at least out on the race surface here to get it going today. As Derek Paulson now, the first those two drivers we were talking earlier there were leading this one into pit road. Treywick laying out, trying to maybe go for the run. I don't know if I'm Treywick right now or not, but I'd say probably. joke right now. Gonna get the tire sets in there. But they're trying to complete that one up a bit there. Chris Meffert right now looking to get the lead back from him as he does in successfully turns. But Brandon right behind him certainly won't be making this one easy on him. And you heard Brandon earlier say he was just going to take it a little bit easier, not having to really worry too much. But he is making quite good progress here. And Ty Morosco back in this one too. So this could really go any which way to Sunday here, guys. We don't know. This, honestly, right now, I'm trying to think what really could be the best option for these drivers that are currently on that long run, flag run there. Again, some are getting to lap 60, some have been on 54, 56, 57, some on 53, some are even crazier going 51. I mean, there is a who's who of drivers right now just trying to find the right level and the right speed as well as the timing spot to get in and out of pit road when they need to. So 17 laps remaining right now here, folks. Roscoe, Brandon Meffert, Chris Meffert, top three in this booking here. The two front runners there, Paulson and Treywick, they were trying to get their own strategies filtered in there. Paulson with a little bit of a uniquer strategy they're throwing at Treywick. They're kind of off guard there as now he's coming up there quickly on Chris Meffert and the rest of the field. Gordon Larson Jr., Brian Rainville, Tim Williams, and Craig Lerman. A pretty decent day on all things considering. Kind of a little bit of an interesting spot for them to kind of kick up with. They certainly had their strategies and their game plans too, but putting them into effect, honestly, would not have thought they would have gone the way they did. Cale Scott says, hey in the chat there. Cale, thank you so much for tuning in on into the show today. And again, guys, if you are new to our Beats and Race TV YouTube channel, again, we just kind of had to work around this set of a Facebook end for a while, and I think that may be our permanent solution for a bit. Be sure to subscribe here on our YouTube. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on. Trouble. Morosco going to lose it right off turn number 4. Gets it saved, but that one almost causing a caution to come out. Chris Meffert getting right out of the way of that one. Good timing on his end, but my word, that could have been disaster. As I was saying though, if you guys are new to the channel though, be sure to subscribe here on our YouTube. This will probably be our permanent home for quite a while with the live stream ends here. Also be sure to hit our Facebook up and like and follow us up there still to get all the latest coverage in action, as well as our Instagram and X, what used to be Twitter. Also now going to take the race lead away. Time running out here as the field is starting to look carefully at their momentum. So only 11 laps now, about to turn 10 laps to go here as Blake Trawick continues to lead him out. Derek Paulson's final pit stop being used up. As Trawick has a little bit of a glitch graphic gremlin trying to attack him on the end there. Trawick trying to go for a very long run set here and trying to finish it out on a high note. But again, everybody right now wants to try to take him down, wants to try to take this one away from him. He's going to have to get into pit road, judging by his usual pit stops and positioning he's been in today. This one is not over yet, and Trawick well aware of that right now. The question remains, though, is which one's going to take him down and which one's going to be able to kind of pull up the momentum here and get the Caves going. Coming down the legs here, race fans here. It is just about done and over with here, but it has been a long, long go for many of these drivers in a tough little position for some of them. Got to find themselves in. Buffer right now currently keeping his momentum going there with Len McNeese kind of just trying to fall back behind him there. Len, of course, not having the best of seasons either is Chris Schuessler. Schuessler right now a little bit of company there back on his doorstep there. Tim Lee, a few problems earlier on in that pit stop messing him completely up out of their track here. Kind of cost him dearly. He's well aware of that as he's just trying to hang on at this point. Trawick's still not going to pit road here. He's really going to try to long run this if he has enough fuel to get there. He's certainly going to take control of it, but that's the biggest question is, does he have enough to do it? I don't know. This is a very tough decision here, though, because he's got 6 laps remaining. Paulson knew he had to go back in pit road, trying to get him squared up. Trawick may have waited out just long enough and kind of used up that last bit to kind of hide the fact that he knew how to save that last go of fuel. And now to finish this one on a high note, I think certainly is what he is aiming towards here. And Blake Trawick, nope, that's not going to be the case here. His fuel strategy run does not work to extend. He's going to pit road. Paulson, big opportunity here. A major opportunity just came aboard for Derek Paulson here. It looks like that strategy he had set up is going to be the one that's going to take down Trawick. Trawick cannot believe it. He's trying to hurry into pit road. He knows he's got a chance if he can get in and get out. But it's going to be a tough call here because, again, he needs to just get enough and go. And he will get enough there and then go, but it's going to be a tough full spot here because now Paulson is coming up right to him. He's got to hurry out of pit road there and try to get back into the throttle. I don't think he's going to have time. It's going to be close. Pulls right off turn number 4. Paulson, huge run coming off. Trawick, will he try to throw the block up to the top? No, he's not going to. He's going to stay low and let it show. This is going to be a long, big fight out for this one. Paulson has the speed, the momentum. Trawick trying to get the speed back underneath him. 5 laps now, turning 4 laps to go. This time on by. And it looks like Trawick, looks like he might be just about even there with Paulson, but he needs that draft and he needs a little bit of help to catch him. unbelievable strategy there, and what a pit stop there from his teammates and his team crew there in that pit stall. Treywick, without that crew, he would not have been able to get in and out as quick as he did. That fuel might just be enough to take down Paulson here. I said at the beginning of it, right as we were about halfway in, it seemed like these two guys were the ones to watch out for. They were the ones that were going to go for broke. Which one will take the cake, though? Paulson currently running on the fumes. Treywick fighting for every bit he's got, trying to make that run off on him. Paulson has blocked before hard, though, and Treywick has done the same. But it looks like these two might be in a bit of a different whirlwind here. Paulson couldn't try to hold on Treywick. Treywick going to try to nail him down on the turn 1 and 2. Back inside now, Treywick hard on the gas pedal, trying to maneuver his way through traffic. Lost the run on the outside. Paulson knows if he keeps that outside lane booked and hooked, he will not be able to pass him. Treywick is trying, and he's desperately trying to find a little bit of ground coverage, a little bit of grip. He just can't quite get it on that bottom lane, though. Paulson just a little bit better, but he does have a slight advantage here down that front straightaway here as he comes streaming down. 2 to go. Treywick needs to nail corner 1 here to kid him off 2. He's got a good run. Paulson going to try to close the gap back again. That straightaway is going to be where it settles it here. That front stretch is where Treywick's getting a good advantage on. Paulson's getting a huge drive there on that back straightaway, and that's where he needs it. He's got to keep that draft going, keep the side draft hustling, and push every little bit he's got. Oh, they're just dead even right now with each other, almost side by side, looking to pound the gas pedals down and put each other to their limits. White flag this time on by. This is going to be one for the finish. That time by it was Treywick by a mere thousandth of a second. That was a mere 2 or 3 thousandths of a second there. Treywick now trying to back him in through 1 and 2 yet again. Paulson dead set on the bottom, trying to lower him out, trying to guard him. Paulson knows he's going to need to hold on to every little bit of speed there on that back straightaway. Has a bit of a gap brewing there from the back half. Has a good jump. Treywick needs to nail turn 3 to set him up for 4 to the straight. May put them up together with each other here. Putting it side by side. Both drivers contact slightly made. Paulson, Treywick, dead even in the line. Coming straight for the finish line here to the line. And it's going to be Paulson to the line by a mere 100th of a second to the line. Somehow takes down Treywick in an incredible race. Impressive. Wow, you got a little bit of love there from Treywick and Paulson, as both guys just pretty much put every little bit they had to the line, neither one touching to the end of that straightaway. They were bouncing and bumping off each other from 3 into 4 and a little bit for a second, it seemed like, on the straight. But boy, oh boy, they left nothing on the table. And in this case, for this one, Derek Paulson is going to get himself a race win. A solid effort to the line. What a finish, race fans. And now it's time to take a look at your race results presented by Lightning Wrapz here in a solid effort. Derek Paulson, man, credit where credit's due. He nailed the strategy down as much as Treywick did, but just had enough to hold him off. Blake Treywick going to go second in a well-deserved effort. Chris Mefford going to go third in this one. Brandon Mefford going fourth. John Poole going fifth. Sixth to Gordon Larson Jr. Tim Williams, seventh. Eighth, John Garrett. Ninth to Todd Poston. Brian Rainville, 10th finish. That'll about round out the field As you see the other finishers here, what a race and a day there in Rainville. Having a little bit of a field day down there. He says, top 10 for me. Have a happy top 10 there for you indeed, buddy. A good showing there from him. Nevertheless, here, race fans, we now take a listen in to our finishers today. Coming up third place today, Chris Medford now joining me here on the call. And Chris, man, talk about having to nail this one down a few pegs here, sir. You had a good lead there earlier. Really found a good strategy. Kind of found some momentum there when you could. And end up finding yourself now in third. I mean, that's got pretty solid effort considering this was a green flag run from point A to point B.
Yeah, it was definitely a good effort. Good racing by everybody. Yeah, I wanted to try to split everything in half. I ran, I think, 3 pit stops with those first set of tires. So I was really trying to be set up there for the case of the late race caution. 'Cause I know I was busting out some monstrous laps there, hoping for a caution. And once I get past Blake, I was really hoping for a caution just because I'm not sure if he'd have made it or not. But I would have had fresh tires. I'm not sure if anyone else did besides Tim. But it definitely been a good race to watch.
Well, I mean, Chris, I gotta say, I mean, Blake, considering where we saw him at in terms of the fuel run, in terms of the strategy, it looked like he was kind of pushing his luck a little bit and got very lucky when he did. But I mean, heck, I mean, having to see that battle go on for the race lead, I mean, I gotta believe in some ways you were thinking, man, if only I just had a little bit more time or a little more chance, probably wanted to have a little fun with that too.
Yeah, most definitely. I pushed a crap on my tires, and they didn't like me there at the last like 5 laps or so. But I was also cutting it close on fuel. I ran out coming off 4 there. So that and just the lappers and stuff racing, But just getting that dirty air really killed the nose. But no, it was a good race, everybody. Definitely some very very aggressive racing there. That I didn't like there at the beginning of the race, just because 5 laps in we're already beating and banging. It's like we still got 75 laps left. But it all panned out. I told Brandon, I said I knew that Derek and Blake had a pit again just from where they pitted. I think they had like 19 to go when they pitted the second to last time. And I wasn't sure if Blake was going to try to save or not. Uh, I know he was back there, but when I was racing with him, it wasn't sound like he was saving too much. So saving 3 or 4 laps here, it'd be tough just because there's so much on throttle time. Um, but you almost squeaked it out.
Almost squeaked out indeed. Coming away today with third place though, Chris. What do you want to thank her for that one?
Yep, I thank you for the broadcast. Thanks to Tim and all the admins for putting up with us. Great racing for everybody. Like I said, 80 green flag laps. That's we done that the other day in the ARCA cars here. We went 80 green flag laps, which is actually really tough in those because those are very, very throttle loose. Um, Shout out to everybody at Charity Motorsports. Good run by Brandon. He could have passed me. I'm not sure if it would have mattered or not as far as position wise. Congrats to Derek and Blake on their finishes.
For sure there, Chris, man, congratulations taking on home. Solid podium for you today.
Thank you.
Chris Medford, ladies and gentlemen, taking home a good podium here. Coming away to second, though, probably, if anything, could have been the race winner. But, hey, the defending champion definitely having a good showing here. Blake Trawick, 13,000 of a second to the line, good sir. I mean, absolutely insanity there. Considering the lap before, it was 1,000 of a second. I mean, how the heck did you and Paulson even manage this final bit there at the end?
Ooh, just really hard, good racing of clean drivers. It might be a second place finish, but I am really excited for that one. That was like 3 last laps of side by side, door to door racing. That is no one getting walled, no one beating bang on each other. Clean. You can't ask for a better finish than that. Other than, maybe the win, but second like that, I'll take that any day. That's exciting racing right there.
Absolutely did here. I know obviously you had a little bit more momentum and a little bit more give there. It seemed like when you were getting to the very end there, but then all of a sudden things just kind of flipping on a dime. I honestly thought that when you had to go back on a pit road that your race was all but done and over with here, but you managed to just get that fuel run in, get the truck back out on the track there, and just speed away. I mean, go head to head, Boston. I mean, that in itself there, sir, was pretty impressive. I gotta admit.
Yeah, I was worried about the strats. There was at least 5 different fuel, tire strats, everything going out there. I made my bed and I didn't want to change it up, so we decided we're just going to run it out and take only 3 gallons at the end there. The previous stop, we slid our box and gave up the lead by a lot. So I was just trying to hang on for hopefully a top 4 finish. But once we got back on track there, I was like, okay, we're going for the win here. It's going to get exciting.
Well, it was exciting. It was crazy, and man, that was something to say the least. So, who do you want to thank for this one?
Well, finally back up in the interview room so I can do this. Been a few weeks of bad luck here. Shout out to the team I run on, Firelight Esports. You guys up here in the booth, always week in, week out. Great broadcasts, this league, and all the drivers here making it. It's a great place to run. You get races like this, and it's amazing. So it's a big thank you to everybody.
Certainly the case indeed here. Blake Draywick, man, congratulations taking on home a solid second place today.
Thank you.
Blake Draywick, ladies and gentlemen. As he finals up here with a second place today, this guy right here, somehow, some way, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to get it done today. Derek Paulson puts the 17 back in victory lane in dramatic fashion, to say the least here. Coming to the line, Paulson. I mean, I honestly was kind of figuring Draywick was going to try to get a little bit of that long fuel run and try to nail you down. He comes back out, and you two all of a sudden just put magic on the last couple laps. I mean, what was going through your mind there, sir?
Just not to screw up. I knew if I ran decent laps, we were gonna have a good finish. You know, in that case, sometimes you may want to overdrive the corner or not drive the way you should. And there was one corner I did overdrive it a little bit, and he kind of got a little more on me. But yeah, just you know, when you're in that position, you got to relax and just do your thing. And my goal was to keep him below me because it's really hard, especially in old tires, to pass on the low side. So I wasn't going to let him get on the high side. And, you know, I don't know. He was making it work really good, but, you know, I was lucky enough to hold him off at the end.
Look at hold him off at the end indeed here. I mean, I'm going to ask you this, though, real quick. I mean, you pretty much were door-to-door bumping and banging a little bit, side walls going together, drivers just putting everything on the line. I mean, for you and this team, just how on earth were you even able to kind of control those nerves and control yourselves to be able to do that and then still come away with that close of a finish in this case here for you guys?
Well, patience all race, to be honest. Didn't know what was awesome tonight, and I got to thank the drivers because they did an awesome job. Night and day difference from last week. You know, pretty much a similar track, and we had no cautions compared to last week. So everyone had different strategies. It was pretty cool. When you can go 80 laps caution free, you got people doing different strategies. So to be honest, I didn't know what was really going to happen. Blake and I kind of had the same strategy until towards the end when I kind of changed mine up a little bit. But other guys took different strategies, so I didn't know. I knew Blake and I would be pretty close around each other the way we were racing and the kind of the strategies we started out with. And I pitted early at the end of the race before he did. I pitted as soon as I knew I could make it. And, you know, I got in front of him, which panned out. But yeah, I don't know. Usually I'm not as cool, calm, and collective at the end when I'm racing for a win that closely. But for some reason tonight, I guess, you know, it was such a great race. You know, if I came home second, it still would have been a good night. So.
Certainly the case indeed. Derek, man, going to bring home the victory lane. It's been a while since we heard from you here. What do you want to thank for this one, bud?
I got to thank all the admins, and I got to thank Tim. Patience he brings. You know, we get a lot of guys coming at him, telling him, "Oh, we need to look at this. We got to look at that." You know, some of the racing this season, you know, hasn't been up to our standards as normal, and to race like that tonight on this track was awesome, to say the least. Got to thank you there up in the booth. I got to thank Michael Falk Racing Designs, who does my paints. I got to thank MFRD with Ty there in the channel, and that would be 3 in a row. Ty won the last 2, and then I lucked into a win tonight. So it's been a pretty good last 3 weeks.
Certainly indeed, Derek, man. Congratulations, bringing home the victory lane, good sir.
Yeah, thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, Derek Paulson going to come home with a solid end to his day here. The Professor Tim Lee joining us real quick here. Tim, anything final thoughts you got on here for us, buddy?
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you what your thoughts were. There was good racing all the way around this track. Like this, we couldn't have gotten a better race even if we tried. It was that good. So yeah, I was just curious to see what you thought of it.
all thoughts considered, I thought honestly that there were a few crazy moments in between, but I think when the drivers kind of figured out how to run it from there, that was pretty much then just turned into a strategy-based race. Then finally getting to the very end of it, it was just who can even last out the longest. So I honestly think, in all honesty, it was probably one of the better races we've seen. Auto Club seems to always have a strong finish for us one way or another, which is kind of surprising, especially considering usually pit strategy and fuel strategy runs don't always get that close to the end there with these guys.
Yeah, that and Michigan last week wasn't our best race. We rerounded nicely to do that, but these tracks are pretty similar, right? If you look at it.
Certainly in the well, they are sister tracks there, brother and sister. Although I know Auto Club in general is no longer with us, but at least in the video game world, at least in the virtual world as well with simulation, it is still gonna always be there and still be there one way or another. So, I guess in all honesty though, Tim, I guess my final thoughts really has just been, from one sister track to the other sister track. I think honestly a lot of drivers learn their mistakes and learn their lessons, and this is what we got in the results.
I believe so too. We'll get better. It'll get better. So it's hard to beat tonight, but this is the standard that we like to set in the pit stall. So
certainly is the case indeed, Tim. Thank you so much for your time today, buddy, and we certainly cannot wait to get back out on the track next time out.
thanks, Chris. See ya.
See you later.
And have a happy Thanksgiving next week.
And a happy Thanksgiving as well to you, sir. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone out there as well. When your time comes here, we will be back live on tomorrow in the morning as we will be seeing the Pistol Monday Night Series back finally. And then, of course, Sunday night, the Pedal Metal Racing League gets a little bit of a doozy here as they'll be back with us as well. Until then, race fans, be safe out there. God bless you all. We'll see you next time when the green flag flies.